I started it 2 minutes early. Well,
2 minutes early. Shoot. Is anybody even watching right now?
We got 11 people watching, so we better pick it up because the Broncos they're back into the win column, which means next week they are going to be tough to beat.
Almost impossible to beat, I would say.
Say, I guarantee the Broncos will not lose next weekend, this week.
It's a blessing.
It is a blessing. We're blessed.
What a great season.
We went from hashtag fucked to hashtag blessed so quickly.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to talk about it, but I've always said there's a little optimism. I'm feeling good.
Are you feeling good?
Are you feeling good?
I feel a little better today about this football team than I did the previous 17 weeks, Will.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that we have located the problem for most of the season. We have terminated the problem, and we have officially moved on.
It was the field, the grass field, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The $400,000 field today is what made the difference.
If these guys are willing to spend $400,000 per win, we can win a lot of games with this bankroll.
I was going to say, it's like if you're paying $400,000 for one game of turf, how much are you going to pay for Sean Payton, Jimmy Harbaugh? You'd have to pay more than $400,000 per game.
Right? You're gonna offer them that turf as part of the deal when they come. Like, we got $400,000 worth of sod. We will have directly put in your home.
We will back up the Brinks truck, except the Brinks truck will not be filled with money. It will be filled with sod, but it's winning sod. It's got the seeds of victory planted in it.
We're so rich. We have been to the future. Yes. And you could take all the money you want right now, Jim Harbaugh, but in 10 years, American currency is actually sod. So
we also found out from our trip to the future that Michigan has been stripped of all of their scholarships, bowl eligibility. Also, they have to play Alabama every week. And they have been relegated to community college status. So if you want to stick around there, Jim, then
you want to stay in Michigan with community college talent. Try to win. Try. What about Russell Wilson?
Might want to come to the NFL instead. Russell Wilson?
We're not going to tell you about his future. Okay?
No.
You wouldn't believe it if we told you.
He's historically speaking, he has not been on the best of terms with Future. Got him! Bang! From downtown.
Bam! Welcome to the That's Good Broncos podcast. I'm Brendan Burner here with Will Keys. The Denver Broncos did defeat the Los Angeles Chargers. Can we just go back to calling them San Diego?
I think we should call them San Diego.
Done with this Los Angeles shit.
You're San Diego until you win a playoff game in LA.
That's right.
Which I actually think they have done. But win 2 playoff games.
Yeah, win 2 of them. Oh yeah, did they won though? When was
they beat the Ravens that one time, and then they got smoked by the Patriots.
Oh, that was Lamar's first go in the playoffs. They were already in LA then.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like their 3rd year in LA.
Okay. Well,
it's been a shockingly long amount of time.
Yeah. The Broncos beat the Chargers, though. And they actually looked pretty good offensively doing it. More impressively, more stupidly, should I say, the Chargers had their starters in pretty much the whole game. So
yeah,
we can't even we deserve this win. We earned it. And by absolutely. We, I mean me and Will mostly, but the Broncos, they beat the Chargers pretty much fair and square for 50 minutes till Chase Daniel came in. And then we muffed a punt and almost gave them.
We basically walked them into the end zone.
Yeah, we helped them a lot.
Young hung Brandon Johnson, right? He maybe not the punt returner of the future.
Yeah. Where was Kendall Hinton not active? Why wasn't he back there?
He was inactive.
Okay.
Yeah. So was Montreal Washington, both inactive.
Why did Hinton get the inactive? Just to keep him healthy?
I think he might have been hurt.
Oh, okay.
Probably, if I had to recklessly speculate,
some sort of injury.
No fact checking, probably a hamstring injury.
Yeah. A hamstring injury. So they beat the Chargers. There's some real coaching stuff coming down the pike. And I am not kidding. I am a bit optimistic after that game. And we're going to talk about all that. But right now, don't forget today's episode sponsored by. Can you guess who, Will?
Raytheon.
Yes. So when you need something built that is probably a weapon, we're going to do it for you.
Okay. And that'll be $5 million direct deposit, please.
Yeah. We love Raytheon?
Yes.
Okay.
And the other sponsor.
DraftKings Sportsbook. Bam, 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 bam. Use code DNVR when you sign up over at DraftKings. And right now, as the regular NFL season wrapped up, playoffs are here. And starting on January 14th, 14 of the best teams will contend against each other in hopes of getting to Super Bowl 57. That's not enticing enough. Well, DraftKings is giving new customers a winning offer. All new customers have to do is sign up for DraftKings using my code, not Will's code, my code, DNVR. Will's code is actually DNVR.
Mm-hmm.
But if you bet at least $5 on any NFL playoff games, you'll instantly receive an additional $200 in bonus bets. Bonus bets. Yeah, that's right. New customers, $5 any NFL playoff game of your choosing, and you'll instantly get $200 in bonus bets deposited into your account. Maybe you use that bonus for some same game parlays where you stack some bets within the game, like which team will win and buy how much for an even bigger payout. Just use our code DNVR when you sign up over at DraftKings Sportsbook. $5 on any NFL playoff game. Get $200 in bonus bets free. All right. So, outside of some of the Broncos things that continued to happen in that game.
Yeah.
Which the muffed punt. What else happened there at the end that was very Broncos-like?
I'd say the reverse play.
Yes.
Where
Yeah. It was
Judy lost 15 yards.
A reverse to
that was a little too cute for my liking.
Latavius Murray tries to pitch it to Judy. They drop the ball, and they're basically in a 3rd and 25 situation after that. So that felt like the Broncos trying to give a game away. Luckily, they held true. Luckily, Justin Simmons is a turnover machine. He stripped the ball twice in this game. So that was good because it was a slow start for the Broncos on offense and defense. Felt like maybe the Rosberg magic had already faded. And Russ was like 2 for 8 for like 13 yards for a quarter and a half, almost 2 full quarters. And then Denver scored a touchdown, but it was a rushing touchdown. I think, was that first one? Did that come off a fumble? Was that off a fumble? I can't remember. It doesn't fucking matter. Then Russ got hot.
A normal drive.
Then Russ got hot. He started throwing bombs. He threw 2 50-yard passes to Jerry Jeudy. He hit Cortland Sutton in the end zone. He hit touchdown machine Eric Tomlinson. Just another random tight end catching a touchdown pass, what we love to see. And I think he had 3 very deep balls completed in this game, finished with like 283 passing yards, 3 passing touchdowns. Felt like the Russell Wilson we thought we'd be getting all season. I feel like in the Broncos' success, I finally kind of learned shit about this team because we've been watching so much bad football that we've just been in this place where we don't know what's wrong. And we talked about it a little bit last week. And then this week, it really is that the running game has to work because the modern NFL, so many pass happy teams, they use the short pass like runs, and Russell Wilson just can't do that.
Yeah, his idea of a short pass is, and it actually worked a couple of times today, to Latavius Murray and to Tyler Beatty.
Yeah, Tyler
just came out of nowhere.
Tyler Beatty.
I forgot he was on. I didn't know he was on the active roster at least.
Yeah,
but yeah, his thought process is essentially like look for the deep ball and then come back all the way down to the swing pass to the running back.
Yeah.
But it felt like those have been more effective recently. And yeah, they got like I said, they got Beatty involved. Murray was involved in the passing game. If Chase Edmonds is around next year, and I don't know that he will be, but I like the idea of having a running back like that. That I think Nick Kendall pointed this out on Twitter too. It's like the Broncos need a guy that's capable of taking those swing passes, making a defender miss, getting a first down, moving the chains, but doesn't signal to the defense that, oh, this guy's in, they're definitely throwing. So whether that's in the draft or in free agency, like that's definitely, you hope you get Javonte Williams back at a reasonable time next year, and he can do that. But you want another one of those guys. I don't know, maybe Deuce Vaughn from Kansas State, just as a name.
I like that.
Someone in that mold who can be a dual threat out of the backfield, because you need it. Because if the home run's not there, Russ is usually going to that outlet. He doesn't really.
Because it's like the only guy you can see.
Reeds don't progress quite like other guys.
It's the only guy you can fucking see. That's why.
Yeah, which to be fair, he is really good at the home run ball.
Yeah, that's what we saw today.
And he was so good at it today. That throw where he evaded pressure, rolled out to his left, and then threw off balance, just a dime down the field to Judy. Might have been his best play all season, to be honest.
Yeah, and he actually missed a throw that was a scramble drill early in the first quarter, and he went deep. Was it Judy he overthrew?
I want to say it was maybe
Salbert.
Swain.
Oh, Swain. Swain had a big catch in the game. He overthrew somebody early because I was bitching during the stream. Like, we have to have Russell Wilson making these throws. Like, he was good enough to avoid all the pressure, and then he missed. But then he started connecting. And that the reason those, I don't know, like if there's a difference between guys getting schemed open because it felt like Judy was just open a lot, or if the Chargers, it's the Chargers secondary, and if it's their defense in that, like, they start giving up some rushing yards, and then everything kind of falls apart after that. I don't know, but guys were open. They ran the ball really well. It felt like everybody had like 50 to 60 rushing yards.
Yeah. And we got 2 runs of over 20 yards today, which, if you'll remember, we went like 10 weeks without one to start the year.
That was huge. Yeah, Latavius Murray had 103 rushing yards today.
Yeah.
Chase Edmonds 45. Judy had 39. And then, of course, Tyler Beatty's big touchdown run. That was a 24-yard like swing pass to him. So everything just worked. And Judy, 5 catches, 154 yards. Like, it worked. For whatever reason, it fucking worked. The Chargers had their defense out there. They had their offense out there. So I'll accept no excuses. And I think if anything, the minimal result of this game is, oh, I'm a head coach. Maybe I can make this football team work. Maybe there still is some gas left in the Russell Wilson tank. Like, we needed to see this from him. We really did.
We did, yeah. It was like going out on this note, because I think, 2020, we lost the last game of the season.
Yeah.
21, we lost the last game of the season. Usually we get these games and we just go out on a very sour note. And I'm not sure it means much because, we finished 2019 with like 3 out of 4 wins. But it does give you like this renewed sense of optimism. And when you combine it with, so Russ had 6 touchdowns, 6 total touchdowns in the last 2 weeks against divisional opponents.
Yeah.
He has played better. There are a couple turnovers in there. That happens. I don't know if we can ever expect him to get back to,
no,
the first half of 2020 Russell Wilson, but
no.
If he's going to play at this kind of level with a little bit of variation, and you give him a run game similar to what we had today, you can definitely win.
Yes, it's 100%. The run game has to be good. And that's such an easy thing to say, right? But the Bills don't need their run game to be good. The Chiefs don't need their run game to be good. Hell, Aaron Rodgers and the Packers don't need their run game to be good. But that's because they have quarterbacks who can hit all these short throws all over the field, and all those 5 boxes of where you're looking at in a passing chart: right side, right short, left and middle, right?
Right.
Russ is just better outside of all of those target zones. So your runs have to be those passes that are hitting in those areas. And I think today, at least I felt like I really saw that. But even beyond that, since the Ravens game, they scored. The offense has, I don't know if it's all the offense, but the Broncos have scored 28 points, 24 points, 14 in that Christmas game, 24 points, 31 points. If they'd been doing that all season, we would be in the playoffs right now. But and in that span, it's been a mix of Clint Kubiak and Justin Otten calling plays as offensive coordinator.
So you can't even put him.
What's that?
Is it Otten or Outen?
I don't know. I say them
I've
both.
heard both.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Earlier at the beginning of the day, I was saying Outen. Halfway through my stream, I changed it to Otten.
Otten sounds better.
Either way, I can't even just put it on one of the play callers. It's just that Russ has been better. I don't know if the line necessarily has been better, but the last few weeks when we've been able to run the ball, that's worked. So I don't know. Felt nice.
Yeah. And I think
nice.
Kind of
Thanks, you,
Adrian.
Ooh, I'm gonna buy something delicious, Adrian.
There you go. This game, and I think the last 2 weeks with Russell, I think are important because they're like an audition too for the next head coach. Sean Payton and Jim Harbaugh were definitely watching this game and watching him, roll out to the left and throw off balance to Judy and hitting these big shots downfield, throwing with a little more confidence, moving with a little more confidence too. And you can probably say, oh, yeah, I can win with this guy.
Yeah.
And whether or not that's true, they've given they're a more attractive vacancy than they were 2 weeks ago. And so I think I would have to say, like, as someone who said, no, there's no point to firing Hackett in the middle of the season, early or even late in the season, I was probably wrong right there. Like,
Look at
I think
that.
they're, like, in hindsight now, there seems like there is some value to it.
Yeah. I agree. That's the thing. It's like, first of all, we're better than a lot of people because we just admitted we were wrong.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
please praise us for that.
Doesn't happen much, but when I am
No,
wrong, I'll say it.
no. But it's just like, I think this season has made me question everything I know about football.
Yeah,
Like,
no kidding.
I've never been so wrong about so many things about football in my life. And I've also never been so vocally adamant about certain things. And then it's all blown up in my face.
Yeah,
So
a certain clip from
I'm a bear
GPS.
man. I've been stripped down to nothing. But yeah, it's proven to those guys that like there's something there, and that athletically Wilson can still get it done. Again, like we've said 1,000 times, maybe not the way he once could. But to do it against the Chargers, to play well against the Chiefs last week, and the Chargers tried, so that also helps. And now we're in this weird spot where, like, we've been hearing rumors about Sean Payton and Jim Harbaugh, right? They're the two biggest names out there. And
Yeah.
we knew with our new money, we might make a play for one of them. But this new money already got shit lined up for both. So were you surprised at all by that?
I was surprised by Sean Payton. Yeah.
Yeah.
And how, like, I guess, like, I don't want to say transparent, but, like, the fact that they interviewed him on Fox, where he's a studio analyst,
Yeah.
about it, just kind of coming out and, like, talking about his contract with the Saints and the process of what it would take to get him on another team, because I don't think they can talk, like, terms of a deal before they talk compensation, something like that. And it's going to be one of, like, many interesting discussions over the next couple weeks or however long it takes to get a new head coach. And we could very well be the first to hire one, given our head start. But how do you factor in the compensation that you have to give up for Sean Payton versus nothing in terms of draft capital or players for Jim Harbaugh? You know, we're not sending a first round pick to Michigan.
I mean, we could.
We
can't do anything with it.
We could send them a player.
We select our own quarterback back. You can redraft your QB back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'd be
for one more year of
welcome back
ball.
to Michigan, Blake Corum.
Yeah,
you've been forced against your will to return to school.
Ooh, you got to take
calculus,
finance classes. Yeah, calculus.
Yeah. Something hard.
Oh, Goff going deep. Oh, he hit it. Oh shit! Sorry, we're what the Packers line game on.
Yeah, did you see that? I mean, I'm sure you did, but that flea flicker that got called back was
to Jameson Williams.
That was so cool.
Oh, I know.
Took it away.
Yeah, I saw how fat the whole. I was like getting ready to be angry about how egregious the penalty was going to be. I was like, okay, that's a good hold to flag at the line.
Yeah.
It's.
I was just upset because it was a cool play.
It was a very cool play,
and I don't know, like, I think I said it earlier, but just take the Dolphins playoff spot and please give it to the Lions instead.
Oh, and Jamal Williams from the one scores. Okay. We should do it. You should write me a video, Will, about the 20 coolest plays taken away by penalties.
Oh, I can think of one
hard
right
that
now.
would be to research.
Yeah, I can think of one. You remember that Cody Latimer? No. It was Devontae Booker hurdled the dude against the Colts on Thursday Night Football.
Yeah.
And he got flagged for something ticky-tacky.
Yeah, I do remember that. Damn.
Yeah.
Do you think Harbaugh's taking these to just get more money from Michigan? Or you think he's actually itching to come back?
I think there's some truth to both.
Wasn't it like at the end of last season, he told Michigan he wasn't going to do the head coaching shit anymore? Like he said he wasn't going to interview for NFL head coaching jobs. This wasn't going to be a thing that he did every offseason.
Maybe he means
and now he's doing it.
Yeah. It's a good question. I think he'd be stupid not to, because everybody who's in that situation like is going to leverage that opportunity, because and maybe like it starts out as okay, I'm using these teams who are going to offer me $20 million to better my $6.5 million salary that Michigan's giving me. And then it turns into, okay, Michigan's still lowballing me, and these guys are offering me $25 million a year. It's like, okay, well, maybe I will just take the job, even if it wasn't the plan originally. Yeah, I think you have to go into it like being willing to walk away and take a new position. Because if you really are just going back to Michigan, like, it's kind of a waste of time.
Yeah. I think like
you have to be willing to bolt.
If these Michigan NCAA violations are literally just about Harbaugh buying a dude a cheeseburger, like,
yeah,
why the hell would you want to go coach in college and deal with that type of shit?
Yeah, it's,
you know what I mean? Like, it's so stupid. Bullshit.
I mean, Harbaugh like is, I don't know, like everybody thinks like he's like uniquely suited to being a college coach because of his personality and and all that. But maybe there's some truth to that too. But because he's not really, he is top dog at Michigan,
right?
Whereas you go to the NFL, like, so you have an owner, and he's not top dog. He may be top dog over George Payton if Payton sticks around, but you still answer to the Penners and the Waltons and Condoleezza Rice, of course, and Sir Lewis Hamilton, of course.
Cool.
And I remember I did hear that back in San Francisco, he did rub Jed York the wrong way quite a bit.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I I think you have to find a way to make it work, because he's just a really good coach, and I think he's really well suited to make it work with Russell Wilson, based on what we just said about needing a good power run game.
Power run. Yeah, I mean, like, he and Greg Roman had all that success with Kaepernick after they moved on from Alex Smith. So I think it's like also shows like a willingness to adapt styles and do it pretty quickly, which is a good thing for a coach.
Which he did too with in college with Cade McNamara and JJ McCarthy. Like, he just plays whoever's best too.
Yeah.
Like,
if you could say any names right there, and I would believe you.
Yeah, here, let me.
Ben McNamara and
he made it work with Alex Orji at Michigan.
Alex Orji?
That's actually a real player, Alex Orji.
Wow! Holy crap!
Did you see RG3 like week 1? Alex Orji scored. RG3 goes, "There's an orgy in the end zone."
Yeah,
nice.
I like RG3 though. He's really embracing saying dirty things.
He acts like he has like perfect job security, which I do appreciate.
Yeah. Maybe he doesn't need it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he doesn't.
The other thing with, because like we we'll talk more about this, I'm sure, until we can't stand talking about it anymore in the next week or two.
Yeah.
But one thing, like we've been talking about, you got to give up first round draft pick to get Sean Payton, right?
Yeah, maybe more.
And when you think about it, is there anybody you're going to get at the end of the first round that would be more important to your team than Sean Payton with that pick?
No, not if Sean Payton is the Sean Payton from New Orleans. No.
Right. Correct.
Unless, no, it would have to be a quarterback.
Yeah.
It would just fall. It would have to be like Aaron Rodgers falling into the 20s, which is, that's not happening.
Yeah. So then you also question, like, what's Sean Payton's actual commitment? Like, he is a guy who just left coaching kind of abruptly out of nowhere for a year.
After the coaching cycle. So he kind of left the Saints out to dry, and he doomed them to a year of Dennis Allen.
Correct. Don't love that.
No.
And I've seen like this knock on him that him and Breeze only won one Super Bowl together.
That's so
stupid.
Yeah.
It's such like a lazy argument.
He also also if the most obvious pass interference of all time is called back in 2018, I think you could very easily make a case they beat the Patriots 2 weeks later.
Yeah, they would be at least going to another Super Bowl. It's like what I was thinking about. A great head coach, I think, can get good performances out of mediocre or young bad quarterbacks. And right now, we just watched that sort of season with Bill Belichick and Mike Tomlin working with Mac Jones and Kenny Pickett, Mitch Trubisky.
Yep.
Like, nobody's questioning whether or not Mike Tomlin and Bill Belichick are great head coaches.
No.
But when you're hamstrung by your quarterback, whether it's a young QB, whether it's a bad QB, there's only so much you can do to elevate that, right? Unless you have, and the Patriots had a great defense. Steelers have a very good defense. But if you're a great quarterback, a great head coach, and you also have a great quarterback, like Drew Brees, like whoever, you can win consistently, and you can expect those guys to perform consistently. A great quarterback can kind of, I think, survive different levels of coaching.
Yeah.
But that's why, like, whoever's coming in, it's still a huge question mark. Like, we've been very optimistic about Russell Wilson. But unless Russell Wilson plays consistently well, I don't know how much a really great head coach can cover up. You know what I'm saying? I think this team can be competitive. I think they can easily be better than they were this year, but it's not there. There's a lot that goes into it, but a guy who's won as consistently for as long as Peyton did, the way Jim Harbaugh won, they're the most experienced coaches this cycle outside of maybe Dan Quinn, but he doesn't have the consistent winning track record that they do. And he didn't do it. He needed his OC. It was Shanahan tied to him.
He needed one of the best offensive play callers of the 21st century. And it's not like a knock, really. It is a statement of fact. No. I think, so one of the things is, I think to me, like Peyton and Harbaugh are pretty close. And so if you had to do the tiebreaker, you would rather have Harbaugh because then you do get the first round pick. Yeah. And obviously I don't have a problem giving up a first round pick for Peyton because it is worth it. But if you tell me, you can have Harbaugh and the first round pick instead, it's like George Payton's good at drafting. Like I do think he'll get a good player there. And after Nick Bonito was invisible on the field today.
Yeah, they'll have to address edge. I think I just am more excited about the idea of Harbaugh and Evero staying with him, which seems like a real possibility.
Yeah.
More so than Sean Payton and Fangio coming back, which also sounds plausible as well. I like it if you can keep some consistency on the defensive side of the ball with your coordinator that guys kind of like, I believe, and will continue to play well for. And then, some fucking good luck after that. That's what we really need.
We do need some good luck. And I think some of my optimism comes from we literally can't have worse luck than we did last year. Well, we could, but like
it'd be hard.
It would be really, really hard. And if it did happen, it would turn into a lot of good videos for us.
Yeah. And that's the other thing. Like, my measure of success is just turning this team into a competitive football team again and being a team that can get into the postseason. Everybody keeps looking at like the Super Bowl as like the only metric.
Yeah.
Like, I don't give a shit about the Super Bowl right now. Like, I just want to be relevant this week.
Yeah.
Going into next week
for something week 18. People do use like, it's always a knock when like, oh, you've only won one Super Bowl. It's really hard to win one Super Bowl. It's like, I know Aaron Rodgers has had some clunkers in the playoffs, but
yeah,
it's impressive that he won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It's a really, really difficult thing to do, especially when you have like Tom Brady winning 50% of them by default.
Yeah, by cheating.
Yes.
And even like Mike McCarthy, in theory, could be on the hot seat if the Cowboys get bounced again in the playoffs. Mike McDaniel, his job allegedly was up for question if he didn't win today. Who
knows? Like, he still could be. Like, if the Dolphins think that they've got Sean Payton in the bag too, like, they'll do it, even if he does. Even though he did make the playoffs.
It's just weird, like, to be a coach that gets your team into the playoffs and still people are talking about you should have your job should be gone.
Yeah.
No thanks.
Silly.
Keep the guy that gets the team to the dance. Now, don't get me wrong. The Cowboys played terrible today. Raiders were horrible again.
The Raiders were ass, and then Josh McDaniels had the audacity to say this is a process. Like, they're rebuilding. Like, you guys made the playoffs last year. It's not supposed to be a process.
You made the team arguably worse, and you got better players to do it. You got Devontae Adams.
Yes.
You brought in Chandler Jones to play opposite Max Crosby.
Yeah.
Josh Jacobs had a great season.
An incredible year.
I hope he leaves. I hope to God he leaves.
Devontae
Adams
pick up the fifth-year option on him.
He's out. Is Josh Jacobs too similar to Javonte Williams to want to try and grab him?
No. I mean, no, I don't think so. I mean, I don't think they will, but
no, I'm just like, I wouldn't mind.
It depends on his
Josh Jacobs. Wouldn't mind Josh Jacobs.
I wouldn't mind. I would certainly take him because that way he couldn't play against us.
Very good. 4D Minecraft. What? We glazed over this. But when the Chargers continued to leave their starters in, what'd you think, Will?
I would have respected him more if he kept them in the whole game and just got most of them injured. Very just dumb.
Yeah.
I think he probably went into the game with a plan like, okay, we're going to go up, we're going to get an early lead, and then I'm going to pull these guys. And then he probably just kind of got caught up in the moment and was like, no, one more drive. Let's keep these guys sharp. And he's like, one more drive. And then Mike Williams gets hurt, and he's like, well, now if I take them all out, now it's going to look like I just did it based on the injury. And now I'm gonna be admitting that I fucked up, essentially. And so he just kept leaving them in. And some of them he left in the whole game. Keenan Allen being one of them.
Keenan Allen was in.
Which is bold when you've already lost one of your top two wide receivers.
Yeah. It was bold just even having Mike Williams, I think, out there altogether because he's been
Yeah.
injured on and off all season long.
Do we have like a soundbite or something from Justin Staley, Brandon Staley? Sorry.
No, I don't.
Yeah, I didn't see anything like about him.
No, I heard the announcers during the game because I was like, why? Like I kept like hinting at it, but I thought maybe I was just being crazy. And then I heard him like saying, why is Chase Daniel still on the sideline? Why doesn't he have a helmet on?
Yeah.
Can they not find his helmet? Like joking
Yeah,
around.
maybe.
And then they're saying that Staley like had a plan in that like he doesn't like the idea of resting or not playing players that final week. He's one of those, it disrupts like the rhythm, the momentum, and then you get a loss, and then you go into the next week and you're setting yourself up to fail type of thing. The old, basically, I think like the old Peyton Manning argument, but the Colts always could basically rest the final 2 games of the season,
pretty much.
like. And I get like getting your first string offense, defense out there for a quarter, maybe.
Yeah, like a preseason game.
Just to keep like the rhythms of, we're running through some of the plays, working on some of the shit we worked on in practice. What happens after that doesn't matter. And if you're a team that was on and off injured all year long, one of the worst most injured teams, just like the Broncos, maybe think about that. Maybe that should be more important than your rhythm for the week, because it's no different than a fucking bye week. You know what I mean? Nobody complains about a bye week during the season. They don't go, man, it's going to be hard to come out of that bye week and win again.
Yeah.
Like,
if you have the first round bye locked up, I suppose you could make a case for it. But because maybe you don't want to not play for what would essentially be 2 weeks. But for 3 weeks then.
I don't know. I obviously don't care too much because it's the Chargers, but
correct.
I'd rather see them succeed in the postseason than the Chiefs. So I was 100%. Like, you're not doing this right. So it was genuine. It was bothering me a little bit.
And without Mike Williams, we don't know his status for next week, but
it didn't look
he's
good.
Like one of the few guys that like really gives KC problems.
Yeah, Mike Williams gives everybody problems when he's healthy.
Yeah.
He's one of the best jump ball receivers out there. The weird issue was, I get, Herbert was hurt this year. It was like they just stopped taking a lot of deep shots, stopped throwing down the field a lot, which is an odd thing with Herbert. It's like the Chargers, the reason like we didn't think Sean Payton was a real, or at least I didn't, is we assumed he was linked to the Chargers because that's been the story. He's been in LA. But now if Sean McVay goes, maybe he's also linked to actually the Rams, because that's a team that definitely does not care about draft picks.
No, but do they even have any?
No, the Lions have their first rounder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A Bradley Chubb trade might end up being more impactful than we think.
I don't think and it doesn't have to be a first rounder this year. That's the other thing.
No, of course not. It just has to be compensation.
Yeah, I think the compensation
doesn't even have to be a first rounder.
It can be it can be done differently than like a player trade. I think there's more loose parameters to work around.
Yeah, it'd be sweet if we could just like give them money or like a new turf field.
Yeah, I wish that Saints were a super poor team, so they would really want that money.
Yeah, like if they're the Oakland A's of the NFL.
Because the money doesn't have anything to do with the cap. Yeah. But it's if you're a cash poor team and somebody gives you a bunch of money to pay like coaches and shit, it helps your bottom line. So that might be intriguing, but Saints don't really have that issue. Oh my God. Oh, wow. Oh, Rodgers effed up. Ooh.
What are you doing?
Let's get out of here. I want to watch this game.
Okay.
What's that?
I'm like 10 seconds behind you.
Watch this pick. It's horrible. Thank you, eHarmony. Oh, there's a flag though. What the hell? Oh my God. Are they going to take another play away from the Lions?
It was a bad read.
I thought he was about to hit his own guy. And then he threw it to Detroit. Who's his penalty on though?
Might be on the return.
Hopefully.
We'll see. But yeah, we can get out of here.
Oh, wow. Hands to the face, 5-yarder. Keeping the ball for the Pack. All right. Thank you, guys. We'll be back with more off-season Broncos news because our season is over. Will, thanks for doing another regular season Broncos football with me. Maybe we'll do postseason next year.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, yeah. Good night.
And Russell Wilson tore his something, never had an ACL.
John Elway.
Russell Wilson